Hello everyone, in this video I will show you my violin. It has a new case made by a company called Aileen, which you can buy on Amazon.com. In this video I will change the strings on this violin. So first of all, let me show you the case. The case is very nice, but it could have used the space a little better. Let me show you what I mean. Let's open this case. You can have your shoulder straps here. It's waterproof. It comes in, this case comes in different colors. I chose white. Your violin is secured with this Velcro here, like so. You have room for two bows, like so, and your shoulder rest is attached with this Velcro fastener. The biggest problem for me is that there's no string tube. It could have been, for example, over here, but they decided against it. Also, the shoulder rest could have been, you know, placed in here, but nonetheless it's pretty good. I would have personally accommodated the shoulder rest. Oh, also has a hydrometer. So let's get started with the string changes. For strings, I'm going to place the D'Addario Pro Arte strings, and these are pretty inexpensive strings comparatively, because most strings nowadays cost about 60 bucks, 70 bucks, some $100. And I've tried all different kinds of strings. The problem with my violin is it's very, very bright, very resonant and bright. I needed to find something that could compensate that brightness, and I discovered these inexpensive strings. They last a long time, they don't break, they sort of take off the high end of your strings, and they last several years. The thing that starts happening after a while is that your high E string starts whistling after 2 years, but other than that it's pretty solid. Okay, so let's get started. This violin is a 1961 weird violin that was actually left unfinished for many years until I got it. The neck profile was that of a viola in a strange way, and I was the first person who actually played this violin. All right, here we go. Let's take off one string at a time. We should not take off all the strings because we have a bridge. So we have taken off the G string. Now on violins, the peg action should be very smooth. If we want to make it smoother, there's a very simple remedy, and it's called a piece of soap. If your peg does not stay in place, you should put some chalk on it. So in my case, I want to make it a little bit smoother, so I just take some soap and I rub it on the peg. And now it turns very smoothly. And this is our G string. So what we do is we put it through the tailpiece like so. We pull on it so that it is completely through the tailpiece. And now we start winding. Now, when we wind the string, we need to make sure that this, see this hole here? The little piece of string is between one loop on one side and then the rest of the loops on the other side. So insert the string. This is a good amount. We start winding it. Now I put the string on the right and I wind it, and then I put it on the left. So now you see this piece of string is between this loop on the right and the rest of the loops here. Make sure it's nice and neat. And in the end, this is what it looks like. You have one loop on the right here, and then the rest of the string length is on the left. Okay, let's do it to pitch. On violins, you need to push in the peg so it stays in place. Okay, the G string is good. All right, next, let's go to the D string. We will take off the current string, unwind it. Then we will treat the tuning peg with soap, just like before. Okay. Yeah, see how smoothly it turns? That's what we want. Perfect. Take the string. We place it here, the bridge. We pull it through. Then we again insert the tip of the string here, like so. We turn it like this, and now we keep going, and again you notice that the tip of the string is secured between this loop and the rest of the loops. And always tune it a little bit sharp because the strings need to get used to the tension and they need to stretch out. And I just noticed that the windings were not neat, so I redid it. This is perfect. See this? One loop on the right and the rest of the loops on the left. Okay. Now we have two more strings to put on. What I like to do now is I like to remove two high strings, and I'll show you why. The reason I like to remove two strings is because the E string is kind of difficult to get to with the A string on. Now with these strings, notice that the pegs are placed in a very convenient place. When you're tuning with your left hand, you can get to both of them just like that. What we need to do is we need to make sure that the high E string is positioned like that in its tuned position, meaning that the peg is not going to be like that, because if you're playing, this can get in the way. So we want to pull on the string until it is sort of in this kind of position. Okay. All right. So this is going to be some trial and error. Now the high E string and sometimes the A string and the E string, most of the time the E string has this little tube that protects your bridge. We will get to it later. For now, let's slide it off to here. And I have two fine tuners on my violin. Let's get it into the fine tuner. Let's get it into the fine tuner. This is my E string. And let's get it over here. Now this is the part that is the most difficult, the E string. Now I don't lubricate the pegs with soap for the two strings simply because I have fine tuners and there's no need for them to be smooth. These pegs it's crucial that they are smooth. These, not so much. Okay, so let's do the high E string first. Pull out the tuning peg and find the hole. All right. And okay, there we go. Perfect. And now on the right of the peg. Okay. Now notice again, the little tip is going to be between this loop and the rest of the loops. Perfect. Now, the way this peg is positioned is good because we can easily fit our hands over here. When the string stretches out, this is ideal. It's not facing sideways, it's vertical. And in terms of the loops, we have our ideal situation here where the tip of the string is between that loop on the left, see, and the rest of the loops. So now we can slacken the string and we can take this little piece of tube and place it on the bridge. On the bridge and mostly off of it. Okay, so now we have the last remaining string, which is our A string. I have this fine tuner, so it goes in the fine tuner, like so. And now we do our trick where we wind the string between one loop on one side and then the rest on the other side. In this case, with the A string, it's helpful to use pliers. Sometimes you're lucky without pliers. Let's see if we can get it without pliers. So this is fine. There's a little tail of the string like this. Since we have fine tuners, it's not a big deal if the peg is positioned weirdly. Now we tune it. Okay, so our violin is finally in tune. And then lastly, the best thing, Big Ben's nut sauce, can go here on the nut.
Okay, so the violin is pretty much in tune. The strings need to stretch out some more. Now, in terms of the bridge needs to be usually between these two marks on the F hole. There's a bass bar that is under it, and it needs to be right behind it. And then the bridge needs to be perpendicular to the body of the violin. Now you can see it's leaning over here, so we're going to grab it and just slide it like so. Okay, much better. Okay, it's pretty straight. And now finally a little bit, we need to like pinch it on this side so it bends on the low side a little bit more. Okay, that's pretty straight in the middle. So there you go. We replaced the strings. Most importantly, the E string peg is not in the way. Notice how it's pointing up. This is exactly what we want. This one we don't care about because we have a second fine tuner, and these pegs turn very easily because we used soap. Now back to my case. There's room for the extra set of strings here. I wish they included a space for the tube, like normal cases have this kind of a string tube. But otherwise, this case is really, really awesome. Looks really amazing. Thank you.